Well, guys, it's the last episode of Community Conversations, and if you're a regular listener, you know that this is not how I start my podcast at all, but I just want to come on here and thank you guys for listening to the podcast. I hope you've enjoyed listening to them as much as I have enjoyed making them. It has been an incredible opportunity not only to make these podcasts, but also to work at the Whitewood Museum. At the museum, but also in these podcasts, I got to meet a lot of cool and interesting people. What's special about the podcast, though, is all the amazing people that I got to interview who volunteer or work for different organizations that are part of our community. And there's so many people that I didn't get to interview that are also crucial in making the community that we call home and that we love. And I just feel so blessed that I got to grow up in Whitewood and I got to partake in a lot of these organizations and all the volunteers that ran these organizations so that I could participate in them. And that's something that me and my guest talked about today. My guest today is Mayor Chris Ashfield, and we talked about all things Whitewood. And I thought this is a perfect guest to end this first season of Community Conversations. Talk about what the community has to offer and what the goals are for the future of our community. This is our last episode of Community Conversations. I'm your host, Kathryn. Let's converse. I think that it is a perfect way to end the season 1 of Community Conversations with our guest today, the Mayor of Whitewood, Chris Ashfield. And throughout the season, I've interviewed different people, part of different organizations that are a part of our community. And there are so many other community members and organizations that I didn't have a chance to interview. And I think that this speaks to how active our small town is. So why do you think it is essential to have so many organizations in a community, especially in a small town?
Well, thanks. First of all, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. So when it comes to the community organizations, I feel community organizations are the backbone of our local life. They play that essential role in the health and the vitality of the town. They build a sense of belonging, give residents a way to contribute, strengthen local identity. They encourage pride in the community. Organizations also step in where government resources are limited. I mean, we're a small government body, so they help ensure important needs are met. Those organizations often spearhead fundraising for projects like playgrounds, arenas, the museum. They organize events that bring economic activity into town, while also providing programs that support youth, seniors, families. Ultimately, when people work together, towns are better. So,
yeah. So, what do you think makes Whitewood a great community?
Well, first of all, the people like you that are doing things like this, the people they are the backbone of our community, and our community is made up of a lot of amazing people, which you've interviewed some of them over the last summer here. Second, our facilities, I think. We have some of the best recreational facilities, I think, in the area, whether it's the golf course nearby, the hockey and curling rink, the swimming pool, pickleball court, this museum here, the ball diamonds. You won't find many communities, especially our size, that have this caliber of facilities. And when you talk about our facilities, obviously you can't not mention things like the Farmers and Friends Bonspiel, which is a result of those facilities, which has put Whitewood on the map as the largest Bonspiel under a single roof in Canada. So not only has that event become something Whitewood's known for far and wide, but also has raised almost $900,000 since it started in 2016, most of which has obviously been donated back to local groups and organizations in and around Whitewood. So the success of this event is now recognized with our town being home to the world's largest curling room was just erected at the Flag Garden along Highway 1. And something else that makes Whitewood a great community, I think, is our location. We're located between two beautiful valleys near numerous lakes. We're close to several provincial parks. We're also central to major industries such as Mosaic and Nutrient Potash and Vaterstadt, all of which provide employment for many people that actually live in our community.
Yeah, it's actually, you mentioned like the valleys and the lakes that we have. It's interesting being in the tourist booth how you don't really realize how lucky you are and how much you have around you until people are like, so what is there to do? And you're like, oh my goodness, there's actually quite a bit to do in our area. So,
Yeah, and I think that's true. I mean, people I've talked to over the years of that I've met that have traveling along number one highway, they, of course, their assumption is Saskatchewan's flat, but I always try to convince them to get off number one highway. I mean, it's
yeah.
built there because it's flat. It's easy
Hmm.
to build, but you go 15 minutes either way, and I mean,
Yeah.
you're in a lot different territory.
Hmm.
You're in valleys, and I think people don't appreciate exactly what this area has to offer that don't know about it. So. It's jobs like yours that actually help to promote
Yeah.
those things and get people to realize that this is a good area.
Right. And I even think there is like a beauty in the flatness too, because not everywhere has that.
Yeah, I mean we're the land of the living skies for a reason.
Hmm.
Without being flat, you don't have those skylines.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of cities in this country and around the world. I've been in the mountains, and I take Saskatchewan skies over a lot of that because the sun going down at 3 o'clock
Yeah.
in the afternoon behind a mountain just doesn't offer the beauty that you'll get in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. No, definitely. So going back to you being the mayor, what would you say is the main role of a mayor?
Well, the mayor is the head of the municipal government for our community. They're elected, obviously, so we help provide leadership, representation, oversight for the community. We lead council and represent the municipality at official functions, meetings, events, things like that. We also advocate for the community with other levels of government, whether that's through the provincial for funding or resources, or the federal for grants and things like that.
And so what is council's goal for our community?
Our ultimate goal is to work together to guide the community towards a long-term stable growth and quality of life for our residents. We want to find opportunities that bring people to town, provide incentives and ways to attract businesses. We want to ensure our public infrastructure and facilities are maintained and upgraded as necessary and can be afforded. And while some of the work is more noticeable, such as street paving and the building of the new rec park that's happening, and then expanding the lagoon is going to start right away, many less noticeable things council works on includes things like having discussions with companies and investors and other levels of government to try to develop things like more housing or attracting more businesses to our community, such as another hotel, which would allow even more events to be held here. So there's a lot that the public don't see that council does that work very hard on their behalf to make our community better.
Yeah. And so what big things are coming to town that you are excited about?
Well, first and foremost, I actually just came from a meeting with the contractors at the South Rec Park on the south side of town. As people have seen, groundwork's already underway, and hopefully within a month or so it'll be done. The work for this year will be mainly done. So we're constructing three new ball diamonds, a soccer, football, and track fields, outdoor rink, a disc golf course, toboggan hill. So it's going to become a very centralized place for people to gather. Also, of course, the walking trails are out there.
Right.
And the rec park's actually the first phase of a multi-phase, multi-year long-range plan for the town to improve our town's recreational facilities, for one thing, as well as expand our campground, which has become busier and busier over the years. Not many people realize that actually, besides property taxes in town, the only resource revenue stream we have that makes a positive contribution is the campground. So by being able to greatly expand it, it'll allow the town to have additional revenue that doesn't have to come at the expense of property owners, which is what people like.
Yep.
People are also going to notice here fairly soon some more improvements at the flag garden, which is exciting. With our world's largest curling broom now being out there and installed, the entire area is being redeveloped and into an inviting and attractive rest stop for people, which will help bring people into our community off the highway. I was doing some work out there a couple weeks ago at the Flag Garden. It's surprising how many people actually stop there in a matter of a day, and it's quite impressive. So we feel that if we can get them to stop and maybe promote our town a little bit better there, that maybe they'll actually come in and spend a little more time in our community. So, and which benefits our businesses and benefits our community.
Yep.
Some other stuff being planned. That's just major infrastructure projects are on the go. We're expanding the lagoon, as I mentioned. It doesn't sound that exciting, but we're working on constructing a new fire hall. Both those things kind of will allow our community to grow and provide better services for our residents.
Right. Yeah, and going back to the campground, it's actually amazing how many people we actually see stop in here as well. Like we've had over 1,000 people come through our doors this year,
Wow.
and that's I'm really excited because I beat last year's record. But it's really interesting, and now some of that is community members that have come through our doors for different programming, but a lot of it is tourists that are looking for information. So
Yeah, tourism's a big business, and I think especially since COVID, people have really started to revisit how they take their holidays and stuff like that. You look at the amount of campground expansion in the valleys at the lakes north of us,
yeah,
at Round Lake. You're talking hundreds of campsites have been added, and they're still trying to add more.
yeah,
Our campsite, there's many times we could probably have it full 3 times over. So we just feel that that's an opportunity for our community to really not only provide revenue, but to boost the visibility of our town, which benefits all the businesses and services in our community.
yeah,
We've toured some other communities. It's surprising, small towns smaller than Whitewood have seasonal campsites. So I mean, people that are living in the cities, usually they just want somewhere smaller. And
yeah,
with our recreational facilities next to our campground, it's a prime location to attract people to spend
yeah.
their summers here and use our golf courses and buy stuff at our grocery stores and our fuel stations and
And
restaurants.
visit the museum.
And visit the museum. They've always got to visit the museum. I mean, we heard great things. There's actually a story in the paper this week about the people that were stranded here for a month and how great the community was to them. And I think they even mentioned the museum about their appreciation towards it. So it's a great town, and I think if we just get people to come in and experience things through, whether it's camping or just stopping at the flag garden,
Yeah.
they'll see that.
Yeah, no, definitely. So in previous episodes, I've always asked my guests how the community could support them in their organization. So why is it so important as a community to support one another?
Well, supporting one another is not just kindness. It's the foundation that actually keeps a rural town strong, vibrant, and able to face that future together. In communities like Whitewood, our neighbors are more than just people who live nearby. They're lifelines with fewer services and longer distances to major services. The smaller population towns heavily rely on residents looking out for one another, which we see all the time. We're supporting each other, and ensures not only our survival, but it also gives the strength and resilience of the entire community. So when you look at families, I mean, we've had situations here in our community where there's hardship, or whether it's through illness or somebody loses somebody, or financial strains. The community support can actually mean whether it's just meals being delivered, or being there for somebody, or funds raised, or chores quietly taken care of to assist them. And then when those volunteers step up for local organizations by coaching sports or teams or help at events, they create an opportunity for youth, for seniors, and families that might not otherwise exist.
Yeah.
So in small towns, everyone's effort matters. Whether it's shopping local to keep businesses open, showing up at fundraisers to maintain essential services, or simply lending a hand in a time of crisis. The success of the community depends on the willingness of people to work together and care for each other.
Right, yeah. And I know that's like one thing that we always, I mean, the museum, even when I ask them, like, what's the biggest thing? They like, just come through our doors.
Yep.
It's like, sometimes just showing up is the best way to support. So.
Yep. No, being there and showing up as support, or telling people about something that's going on, or telling people to visit a place like the museum. It's surprising when you talk about the museum. I bet you majority of our residents have never been through this building, right? Or if they have been, it was probably 20, 30 years ago. You guys have done a lot of amazing work in this building in the last few years, and I think that people need to come in and see that and kind of not only support the museum, but it instills pride in our history.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think that also works for other businesses and other organizations. It's just to go out, support, and help, even with the rodeo last weekend. To have events like that, if we don't show up, those things won't be in our community anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people, you'll hear naysayers in every community. They may say that there's not a lot going on in a small town, but I mean, I've talked to at many of the events that Whitewood's held over the years, people that come from out of town that come visit, whether they're from Grenfell, Kipling, or anything like that. And I've asked, like, why you guys come here, and they actually say Whitewood's a very active, busy community that has a lot going on. We wish that our community was had as
Yeah.
much stuff going on, whether it's the big bond spiels or ball teams or hockey teams or just community events, things like that. You talk about the rodeo. The weekend before that, we had the community fun day in June there when we were doing the amazing race and
Right.
stuff like that. All those kind of programming.
Yeah.
People don't, when they step back and if they really look, they realize that there is a lot of stuff going on in this community. And the more that people can support it by showing up or just promoting it is better for everybody.
Right. Yeah. And you mentioned the fun day. Why is that so important for the town to host such events like that?
Well, I think it goes back to bringing not only everybody together, but also it instills that bit of pride and connection with each other. I mean, you look at that fun day and the amazing race, and the events prior, like the amazing race, like there had been people that entered that I'd never even met that are new to our community and things like that, and they had a blast talking to them. It just makes them feel part of a family when everybody comes together and takes part in those events. And there's a lot of work by the volunteers that go into these events to put them on too. So showing that support by just showing up and being part of it. A lot of these events are free; they don't cost anything. So there is lots of ways to support our community at little cost or
Right.
and just working together. And the more support we have, the better the events become, which then makes us want to hold more events and do more things.
Yeah. I mean, even just look at the Farmers and Friends and how much it's grown in just a few years. So.
Yeah, like you look at that event, I mean, you're talking 10 years ago, it was basically just a tiny little bonspiel with a few teams in it. And 2016, when they started trying to make it the biggest bonspiel they did, it's grown even since then. And like you're attracting some of the best curlers in the world, competing against average everyday curlers. The average everyday curlers are winning, and but it's getting a name for itself right across the country, and people line up to play in that tournament. So it's something really positive for this community.
Yeah, no, definitely. So as our mayor, local business owner, volunteer firefighter, and community member, what would you like to say to our community?
Well, one thing when I think about our community is our town's greatest strength is its people. Every day I see neighbors helping neighbors, stepping up for one another, volunteers giving their time, families building a future together. And I think it's that spirit and caring and cooperation that makes our community more than just a place to live. It actually makes it a home for everybody. And together we're proving that small towns can do big things. As we mentioned with the Farmers and Friends or the rec park going out there, I mean, we're a small community, but we have some big things going on here, and I'm proud of the way we continue to grow. We support one another and keep our community strong.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you coming for the last episode of Community Conversations.
I appreciate you inviting me, and I hope to see more people in the museum, Lynn.